The experience of being chosen often begins with an unshakable sense of separation. It is not a deliberate detachment, but a natural unfolding of one's essence that sets them apart. Imagine standing in the midst of a crowd, surrounded by the hum of voices, yet feeling like an island in an endless sea. This solitude is not born of arrogance or a lack of connection, but from the simple fact that the chosen one sees and experiences the world differently. Their perspective is unique, so distinct that it naturally creates a gulf between them and others. This separation is not a matter of superiority or inferiority, but of being out of sync with the rhythm most people dance to. The chosen one perceives life through a lens polished by an inner calling, an instinctive drive to look deeper, to question, to explore. They are not satisfied with the surface of things, the easily accepted narratives, or the comfortable illusions that society clings to. They see beyond the facade, piercing through the ordinary to touch the extraordinary that lies beneath. This gift of vision, however, comes at a price. To see the world differently is to be seen differently. Others, bound by the familiar patterns of thought and behavior, often find such perspectives unsettling, even alien. They may admire the chosen one from a distance, but they struggle to truly understand them. This difference is not always easy to articulate, for the chosen one often lacks the vocabulary to convey the depths of their insight in a way that others can comprehend. The language they speak, metaphorically speaking, is not one that most people are fluent in. They may attempt to bridge the gap, to share their thoughts, their revelations, their unique way of experiencing the world, only to be met with confusion, dismissal, or worse, ridicule. This is not due to a lack of effort or a failure of communication. It is simply the result of standing on a different wavelength. To be unique is to be alone in many ways, not because one chooses isolation, but because the world instinctively distances itself from that which it does not fully understand. People are drawn to what feels familiar and comfortable. When faced with something or someone that challenges their understanding of reality, their instinctive response is often to retreat or to resist. For the chosen one, this can feel like rejection, but it is, in truth, a testament to the rarity of their perspective. They are a mirror that reflects truths others are not yet ready to see. This separation is further magnified by the chosen one's inability to fully immerse themselves in the pursuits and conversations that dominate most social interactions. They find little fulfillment in shallow exchanges or trivial pursuits. Their minds are preoccupied with questions that dig into the heart of existence, with visions of a world that could be, rather than the world as it is. This preoccupation can make them appear distant, aloof, or even unapproachable, further contributing to their isolation. But their solitude is not a rejection of others. It is a reflection of their inner drive to seek meaning and purpose beyond the ordinary. The uniqueness of the chosen one is not confined to their thoughts or perspectives. It radiates through their actions, their choices, their very being. This distinctiveness is not something they can switch off or hide. It is as much a part of them as their heartbeat. It influences how they move through the world, how they interact with others, and how they approach the challenges and opportunities that life presents. It is a quality that others may find captivating or intimidating, but it is not one that fosters easy connection. To truly connect with a chosen one requires a willingness to meet them where they are, to step into their world and see through their eyes. Few are willing or able to do so, and so the chosen one walks alone, not by choice, but by necessity. This solitude is not a sign of failure or weakness. It is a natural consequence of being different in a world that often values conformity over individuality. It is a byproduct of the chosen one's courage to be authentic, to live in alignment with their true self, even when it means standing apart. It is not an easy path, but it is one they are compelled to walk, for to do otherwise would be to deny their very essence. To be a chosen one is to carry a depth of understanding that often feels like an ocean in a world of shallow streams. This depth is not cultivated overnight. It arises from a convergence of experiences, insights, and an innate sensitivity to the layers of existence that many overlook. Yet this profound understanding creates an inherent challenge. To be deeply understood by others is rare, and misunderstanding becomes the chosen one's constant companion. The chosen one often perceives life not as a series of disconnected events, but as a tapestry of interwoven meaning. They grasp connections where others see randomness and discern patterns where others perceive chaos. Their thoughts do not remain confined to the superficial. Instead, they probe the roots of existence, questioning the very fabric of reality and exploring truths that others may not even think to consider. This way of seeing and understanding the world is both a gift and a burden. It allows the chosen one to perceive beauty and meaning in places others might overlook, but it also separates them from those who are content with the surface. This depth of thought and feeling often makes communication with others a challenging endeavor. The chosen one may find it difficult to articulate their ideas and experiences in a way that resonates with those who have not traveled similar paths of thought or reflection. Their words, laden with nuance and insight, may be misinterpreted or dismissed as overly complex or irrelevant. They may attempt to simplify their thoughts to find common ground, but often the true essence of what they wish to convey is lost in translation. It is as though they are speaking a language that others recognize but cannot fully understand. This disconnect can lead to feelings of frustration and alienation. The chosen one may long for someone who can see the world as they do, who can share in their insights and validate their experiences. Yet these individuals are few and far between. Even among those who admire or respect the chosen one, true understanding is rare. People may appreciate their wisdom or be inspired by their vision, but they often lack the capacity to fully grasp the depth and breadth of their perspective. This can leave the chosen one feeling as though they exist on the periphery of human connection, always close but never fully immersed. Moreover, the chosen one's depth of understanding often challenges the status quo. They see beyond the established norms and question the assumptions that underpin society. This questioning can make others uncomfortable, as it forces them to confront truths they might prefer to ignore. The chosen one's insights can be seen as a threat to the comfortable illusions that many people rely on to navigate their lives. As a result, they may face resistance or pushback, not because their ideas are flawed, but because they disrupt the equilibrium of those around them. The chosen one's way of seeing the world also shapes their emotional experience. They feel deeply, often absorbing the joys and sorrows of life with an intensity that others might find overwhelming. This emotional depth can be both a source of strength and a cause of isolation. While it allows them to connect with the essence of life in profound ways, it can also make them feel out of sync with those who navigate life with a lighter touch. They may struggle to share their emotions in a way that others can understand, leading to further feelings of being misunderstood or unseen. This profound understanding is not something the chosen one can easily set aside or compartmentalize. It permeates every aspect of their being, shaping their thoughts, actions, and relationships. It influences how they interpret the world, how they engage with others, and how they navigate the challenges and opportunities of life. It is a constant presence, a defining characteristic that cannot be ignored or suppressed. Yet it is this very quality that often sets them apart, creating a sense of isolation even in the midst of connection. To be chosen is to shoulder a burden that others cannot fully comprehend, a burden that shapes every aspect of life and often isolates the one who carries it. This burden is not a weight imposed by external forces, but an intrinsic calling, a purpose so profound and encompassing that it demands the chosen one's entire being. It is a responsibility that cannot be shrugged off or ignored, for it is woven into the very fabric of their identity. Yet the fulfillment of this purpose often necessitates sacrifices that others cannot easily understand, sacrifices that distance the chosen one from the rhythms of ordinary life. The burden of purpose manifests as an unrelenting drive, a compulsion to pursue something greater than oneself. It is an inner voice that calls the chosen one to step beyond the comfort of the familiar and engage with the unknown, the difficult, the transformative. This calling sets them apart, for while many may be content to live within the boundaries of convention, the chosen one is compelled to transcend them. This pursuit often places them on a path that diverges sharply from those around them, creating a sense of separation that can feel isolating. This separation is compounded by the fact that the chosen one's purpose often lies in realms that others find difficult to grasp. Their vision may seem abstract, their goals lofty, and their methods unconventional. Those around them, bound by the frameworks of practicality and tradition, may struggle to understand the chosen one's motivations or the significance of their pursuits. This lack of understanding can lead to misunderstandings or even skepticism, as others may perceive the chosen one's actions as unnecessary or impractical. The chosen one, in turn, may feel as though they are walking a solitary road, their purpose clear to them, but invisible to those they wish to connect with. The nature of this purpose also requires the chosen one to prioritize it above all else, often at the expense of personal relationships or worldly pleasures. They may find themselves unable to fully engage with the trivial or the transient, their focus consumed by the magnitude of their calling. This intensity can make it difficult for them to relate to those who do not share their sense of purpose, further widening the gap between them and others. While they may long for companionship or camaraderie, they often find it elusive, as few can truly understand or support the depth of their commitment. The burden of purpose also demands resilience, for the chosen one must navigate obstacles and challenges that test their resolve and their faith in their calling. These trials are not merely external, but internal, as the chosen one wrestles with doubt, fear, and the weight of their own expectations. They may question whether they are worthy of the role they have been given, or whether they possess the strength to fulfill it. These inner struggles can be deeply isolating, as they are difficult to articulate and even harder for others to understand. Despite the challenges, the chosen one cannot abandon their purpose, for it is not something they have chosen, but something that has chosen them. It is an inseparable part of their identity, a force that drives them forward, even when the path is uncertain and the rewards seem distant. This unwavering dedication, while admirable, can also be isolating, as it sets them apart from those who prioritize comfort or conformity over the pursuit of something greater. The burden of purpose also shapes how the chosen one perceives the world and their place within it. They often see themselves as a conduit for something larger, a vessel through which a greater truth or vision can be realized. This perspective can make them feel disconnected from the mundane aspects of life, as their focus is directed toward the profound and the eternal. They may find it difficult to engage with the ordinary, their attention drawn instead to the extraordinary possibilities that their purpose represents. This focus, while necessary for their calling, can make it challenging for them to find common ground with those who do not share their perspective. The chosen one's burden is not a punishment, but a privilege, a testament to their unique capacity to carry it. Yet it is a privilege that comes with a cost that is often paid in the currency of loneliness and separation. Their journey is one that requires not only strength and determination, but also a profound acceptance of the solitude that accompanies it. Through this solitude, the chosen one finds the clarity and focus necessary to fulfill their purpose, even as it sets them apart from the world around them. Authenticity is a powerful force, a quiet but unyielding drive to live in alignment with one's true self. For the chosen one, authenticity is not just a preference or a virtue, it is an imperative, a non-negotiable aspect of their existence. To live authentically means to resist the pull of societal expectations, to reject the comfortable illusion of conformity, and to embrace the sometimes uncomfortable reality of being who they are. This commitment to authenticity is both their greatest strength and a profound source of isolation. To remain true to themselves, the chosen one must often walk paths that others do not understand or approve of. The world is a place that frequently values uniformity over individuality, where fitting in is rewarded, and standing out can lead to suspicion or rejection. The chosen one, however, cannot betray their essence by conforming to what society demands of them. They feel an internal resistance to anything that requires them to compromise their values or suppress their true nature. This refusal to conform can make them seem rebellious or difficult to others, but to the chosen one it is simply the only way to live honestly. Their authenticity shapes every aspect of their lives, from their relationships to their pursuits to the way they engage with the world. They cannot feign interest in things that do not align with their values or pretend to agree with ideas they find hollow or untrue. This uncompromising stance often makes them stand apart, as many people are more willing to bend and adapt to fit into the frameworks that society offers. The chosen one's refusal to do so highlights their distinctiveness, but also sets them apart in ways that can feel isolating. Living authentically also means that the chosen one often becomes a mirror for others, reflecting truths that many would rather not face. Their presence can be unsettling, not because they seek to challenge others, but because their very existence challenges the norms and conventions that people take for granted. They embody a way of being that questions the status quo, that dares to be different, and that refuses to settle for mediocrity or pretense. This can make others uncomfortable, even defensive, as it forces them to confront the parts of themselves that they have hidden or ignored. The chosen one's authenticity also impacts the nature of their connections with others. They crave relationships that are deep, meaningful, and genuine, and they find it difficult to maintain superficial interactions or casual friendships. They are not content with surface-level connections. They seek to understand and be understood on a profound level. This desire for depth often leads them to form fewer but more significant relationships, as not everyone is willing or able to meet them in that space of vulnerability and sincerity. While these connections are deeply fulfilling, their rarity can contribute to a sense of loneliness. Moreover, the chosen one's commitment to authenticity often requires them to make difficult choices. They may find themselves walking away from opportunities, relationships, or situations that demand they compromise their values. These choices, while necessary, can feel isolating, as they often involve stepping away from what is comfortable or familiar. The chosen one understands that to betray their authenticity would be to betray themselves, yet the cost of this unwavering commitment can be a profound sense of separation from those who do not share or understand their perspective. Authenticity also requires courage, as the chosen one must face the judgments and criticisms of a world that does not always value truthfulness. Their refusal to conform can make them targets for misunderstanding or ridicule, as people often fear what they do not understand. The chosen one must navigate these challenges with resilience, staying true to themselves even in the face of resistance. This resilience, while admirable, can also be a source of isolation, as it reinforces the gap between the chosen one and those who do not share their values. Living authentically also means embracing the contradictions and complexities of life. The chosen one does not shy away from the difficult questions or the uncomfortable truths. They confront them head-on, seeking to integrate them into their understanding of themselves and the world. This willingness to engage with the full spectrum of experience sets them apart from those who prefer simplicity or denial, further contributing to their sense of separation. Yet the chosen one knows that authenticity cannot be compromised, no matter the cost. It is a defining aspect of their being, an inescapable truth that shapes every aspect of their journey. The chosen one is drawn to depth and sincerity as if guided by an inner compass that cannot tolerate anything less. Their world is not built on trivialities or superficial exchanges, but on connections and experiences that resonate deeply with the essence of who they are. For them, shallow interactions hold no meaning, and hollow relationships drain their spirit. This yearning for depth is not a choice, but a reflection of their inner nature, a profound desire to engage with life in its truest and most authentic form. Yet this desire often isolates them, as the world they inhabit frequently prioritizes appearances over substance. The chosen one approaches relationships with a seriousness that others might find overwhelming. They seek to truly know and be known, to explore the hidden layers of another person's mind and soul. Casual small talk or surface-level conversations leave them restless, yearning for something more substantial. This tendency can make social situations challenging, as the chosen one often struggles to find meaning in environments where depth is neither expected nor encouraged. They may appear reserved or aloof, but this is not out of disdain. It is simply that they cannot engage with anything that feels inauthentic or untrue. This selective approach to connection often results in the chosen one forming fewer relationships than others. They do not seek quantity, they seek quality. Their relationships, though fewer in number, are profound in their depth and meaning. They value authenticity above all else, and they gravitate toward individuals who share their appreciation for honesty, vulnerability, and mutual understanding. Yet finding such individuals is rare. In a world that often rewards superficiality and pretense, the chosen one's standards can feel impossibly high. This rarity of connection contributes to their isolation, not because they wish to be alone, but because they cannot settle for anything less than genuine. The chosen one's desire for depth extends beyond relationships into all areas of their life. They are drawn to ideas, art, and experiences that challenge them, that provoke thought and stir emotion. They cannot content themselves with the shallow distractions that many use to pass the time. Instead, they seek meaning in everything they do, striving to uncover the layers of complexity and beauty that lie beneath the surface. This relentless pursuit of depth can make them feel out of step with others, as their interests and passions often diverge from the mainstream. This craving for sincerity also shapes how the chosen one navigates their interactions with others. They are highly attuned to authenticity and can sense when someone is not being genuine. Deception, pretense, or manipulation deeply unsettle them, not only because they find such behaviors distasteful, but because they contradict the chosen one's very essence. This sensitivity to insincerity often leads them to withdraw from situations or relationships that feel false, further contributing to their sense of isolation. Their sensitivity also makes them deeply empathetic, but this empathy comes with its own challenges. The chosen one can easily pick up on the unspoken emotions and struggles of those around them, often feeling these emotions as if they were their own. While this capacity for empathy allows them to connect with others on a profound level, it can also leave them feeling overwhelmed or drained. They are drawn to those who are willing to meet them in that space of vulnerability and sincerity, but not everyone is capable of doing so. This disparity can make the chosen one feel like an outsider, even in relationships where there is mutual respect or admiration. The chosen one's pursuit of depth and sincerity often puts them at odds with societal norms. They reject the superficial benchmarks of success, happiness, and connection that many others strive for. Instead, they measure their lives by the richness of their experiences and the authenticity of their relationships. This divergence from conventional values can make them feel alienated, as they often find themselves moving against the current of societal expectations. Yet they cannot compromise, for to do so would be to betray their very essence. Their commitment to depth also means that they are often misunderstood. Others may perceive them as overly serious, overly intense, or overly demanding, failing to grasp that their desire for authenticity is not a criticism of others, but a reflection of their own nature. This misunderstanding can lead to feelings of rejection or exclusion, as the chosen one struggles to find those who truly understand and appreciate their way of being. Yet, despite these challenges, they remain steadfast in their pursuit of depth and sincerity, for it is through these that they find meaning and fulfillment. The chosen one exists in a delicate balance between the physical world they inhabit and the inner world that shapes their perception of reality. This inner world, vast and profound, is often a sanctuary where their thoughts, feelings, and insights converge in ways that others may not understand. It is a space of reflection, creativity, and self-discovery, a place where they make sense of the complexities of existence. Yet this inner richness often creates a sense of distance between them and the outer world as they navigate the challenges of bridging these two realms. For the chosen one, the inner world is not a retreat but a necessity. It is where they process their experiences, question the nature of reality, and explore ideas that transcend the immediate and the tangible. They are deeply introspective, constantly examining their thoughts and emotions to uncover deeper truths about themselves and the world around them. This introspection is not a passive activity, but an active engagement with the mysteries of life. It allows them to cultivate a sense of purpose and direction, even when external circumstances seem uncertain or chaotic. This inner focus, however, can make the outer world feel distant or even alienating. The chosen one often finds it difficult to engage with the mundane or the trivial, as their attention is drawn to the profound and the significant. They may struggle to participate in conversations or activities that lack depth, feeling as though they are out of sync with the world around them. This can create a sense of isolation, as they are often perceived as distant or detached by those who do not understand the richness of their inner experience. The chosen one's connection to their inner world also shapes how they interact with others. They approach relationships with an intensity and sincerity that can be both inspiring and intimidating. They seek to connect on a level that goes beyond the superficial, to share not just words but thoughts, emotions, and insights. Yet this depth of engagement is not always reciprocated, as many people are more comfortable staying on the surface. This mismatch can leave the chosen one feeling misunderstood or disconnected, even in the presence of others. Their inner world also serves as a source of strength and resilience, allowing them to navigate challenges with a sense of clarity and purpose. It is where they find solace during times of difficulty and inspiration during moments of doubt. Yet this reliance on their inner resources can also make them appear self-contained, as though they do not need or desire the support of others. This perception can further isolate them, as people may assume that the chosen one prefers to be alone, when in reality they are simply more comfortable in their own company than in situations that feel insincere or unfulfilling. The chosen one's inner world is also a source of creativity and innovation, as it allows them to see connections and possibilities that others might overlook. They are not bound by conventional thinking, as their introspective nature encourages them to question assumptions and explore alternative perspectives. This ability to think outside the box is both a gift and a challenge, as it often sets them apart from those who prefer the familiarity of established norms. Their ideas may be dismissed as impractical or misunderstood as irrelevant, leaving the chosen one to wrestle with the frustration of being unrecognized or unappreciated. This disconnect between the inner and outer worlds is not something the chosen one can easily resolve. They are acutely aware of the tension between their need for solitude and their desire for connection, between their internal clarity and the external chaos they often encounter. This awareness adds another layer to their experience of isolation, as they grapple with the realization that their way of being is fundamentally different from that of others. Yet this difference is also a source of their strength, as it allows them to perceive and engage with the world in ways that are uniquely their own. The chosen one's journey is one of constant navigation between these two worlds. They must learn to honor their inner nature while finding ways to connect with the outer world in meaningful and authentic ways. This is not an easy task, as it requires a delicate balance of vulnerability and self-preservation, openness and discernment. It is a path that few can fully understand, but it is one that the chosen one must walk if they are to fulfill their purpose and remain true to themselves. The richness of their inner world is both a sanctuary and a challenge, shaping every aspect of their existence and defining the unique perspective they bring to the world around them.